Hey scholars, welcome to the last section of chapter 6. This is on 6.4, how can we slow human population growth, which seems to be our greatest problem, as well as to biodiversity, to ecological problems, as well as to our own problems with the human population. So that's what we're going to talk about and look at with this last section. So as countries develop, their populations are going to tend to grow more slowly, hopefully. And they're going to go through 4 different stages. These are the demographic transitional stages. You might want to know these for our quiz, as well as maybe possibly the AP exam. But there are the pre-industrial, the transitional, which may lead to kind of a demographic trap of kind of stuck in a situation, industrial, and then post-industrial. And we can see kind of like this is just the 4 stages of demographic transition. But you can kind of see that as the United States, we've done most of these. You can see the pre-industrial where we have birth rates. The birth rate is in red, total population is in green, and blue is the death rate. So you can see that our birth rate and death rates were fairly high in our pre-industrial. We didn't have a very big population, and they were pretty high because of low health care. So we kind of stayed relatively stable as far as the population. Well, when you get to the transitional stage, the population grows kind of rapidly because birth rates are high and death rates drop because of improved food and health care. And that's exactly what happened in this transitional stage. Our death rates went down, birth rates kind of stayed the same, didn't really grow as much. Wasn't as enough growth, as far as population going. Our total population did grow, fairly well overall, mostly because our death rate dropped, not because our birth rate rose. In the stage 3, the industrial stage, this is the population growth kind of slows as both the birth and death rate kind of mellow out and kind of stay steady. So your birth rate, definitely died down a little bit there. Death rate stayed about the same, kind of and steady. So your slow growth is occurring here. And then finally, your post-industrial, the growth levels off and then declines a little bit as the birth rates kind of equal or fall below the death rates. So we end up having kind of either if it falls below the birth rate, like here it falls below the death rates, your population is going to decline. If it stays kind of relatively even, it's going to stay kind of steady and constant and not growing or declining. So you can see, if you think about it, I wanted you to hear your opinion tomorrow in class. See if you can figure out or tell me about where you think the United States is. Which phase are we in right now based on what you learned in the past couple sections? First person to do it gets the bonus stamp. So planning for babies does work. We figured out family planning is a good thing. That's why we make it a course here in high school and in high schools across the country. It's responsible for a 55% drop in total fertility rate, which is kind of huge. In developing countries, this is growing, and it's definitely helping developing countries, let alone in developed nations like ours. The expansion of the program is including in teenagers, sexually active, unmarried women and men, which are kind of our major targets because those are the ones that are going to drive the total fertility rate up. The slow and stabilizing population growth, the ways to do this are invest in family planning, reduction of poverty because we see a lot of impoverished people are the ones having many children to help try to get themselves out of poverty. Elevate the social and economic status of women. Again, if you give women a job, they will have less time to have children, and they'll have a different mindset about having children as well. Empower women can slow population growth. We've seen this again by providing them good education, paying jobs or at least equal paying jobs, and human rights without suppression or the fear of anything of trying to advance your career. Sometimes they say for poor women the only holiday is when you're asleep, and that is true. I mean, if you've ever seen people who are women who are in third world countries, all they do is literally gather wood, cook, clean, take care of children, and the only time they're going to be able to rest is when they're asleep because there really isn't any time to sit down because you're constantly trying to provide for the large number of children that you do have. So that is kind of an issue. The case study in slowing population growth, again, encourage fewer children. Gender imbalances, fast-growing economies can slow population growth. Face serious resource and environmental problems, you're going to slow population growth because not enough resources to go around. And also, providing gender biases. When you have poverty as well, this is with India and China. We're going to come back to this. I want to pause on this. I don't want to ruin too much of it for you, but we're going to look at China and India in this section, and we're going to probably hit this pretty hard, so I'm not going to lecture too much on this section. But that does bring us to the end of chapter 6. Again, if you guys have any questions, make sure you post on the question wall in the Dillman Extras or the APES Extras section of the website, and hopefully you have a great night. See you.